Welcome to our Portuguese Table podcast. I'm Maria Lawton, the Azorean Green Bean.
And I'm Angela Simoes, and we're just two chicks dishing about Portuguese food, culture, and what it means to be Portuguese.
So grab a glass of vinho or copo de café and join us as we talk about our favorite foods, reminisce about growing up Portuguese,
and interview some of our community's most successful chefs and food writers.
So sit down at our Portuguese table. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Portuguese table. Hello, Angela. How are you today?
Hello, Maria.
Hi, querida. Tá tudo bem?
Tudo bem, tudo bem. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm excited.
Tomorrow's Friday. That's a great thing. Well, today I'm really excited about our guest who we have. And full disclosure here, folks, full disclosure. We have Chef Joe Rego on the line with us. And we've tried doing this now. Is this our third time, Joe?
Yeah.
It is our third time. Yep.
So third time has to be the charm. It has to be.
That's right.
It's got to be. And for whatever reason, every time we have Chef Joe Rego on, the planets have not aligned correctly. So we either something happens or I don't know what it is. So third's a charm. We're going to do it. It's going to be perfect. So welcome, Joe.
That's right.
Welcome,
Thank
honey.
you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and you're such a good sport. You really are, because we're like, oh my God, here we go again. And this has never happened. It's never happened to anyone else but you, Joe. I don't know.
Oh, boy. Are you sure this is going to be a good thing?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And for those of you out there, I mean, Chef Joe Rego has been on the Food Network a few times, representing. With his Portuguese colors, he's representing Portugal every time, and he is a chop champion, folks. A chop champion, not once but twice, correct?
Well, I was a chop champion back in 2012, and then I became a Cutthroat Kitchen champion in this year, 2016.
That's right. So two different competitions, and you won both. Of course you did.
That's
You're
right.
Portuguese. Yeah, I'm right.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm right. The Portuguese is going to win. Of course.
Of course. We tend to be cocky like that, but that's okay. That's okay.
That's right. In a good way. In a good way.
In a good way is right. In a good way.
That's right.
So, I mean, with all of this, so again, and I know you're so busy. I know you work at a restaurant with a company called Not Your Average Joe's in their test kitchen.
That is correct.
So
yep.
I know you're a very busy man. So once again, you're a real great sport.
Oh, thank you. This is such a pleasure to be here talking with you all. It really is.
You know, the thing out there is we have people that are listening that, that of course they want to know, how did this all start, Joe? Where do you come from? Where is your family? All of the wonderful things. So if you can say just a little bit about yourself, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So I was originally born in Angola, in Luanda. And I was born in 71, and then shortly after in 74, pretty much my whole family had to flee the country because of civil war. So we left Angola and we went to Lisbon, where we settled for quite a bit. I give my parents lots of praise for just, leaving the country of Angola with just their clothes in their back and restart life. And, they had 4 kids, including me. So it must have been extremely hard for them to start from scratch, from the beginning. So I praise them for that. So I lived in Lisbon until I was 12 years old. And then when I was 12 years old, my father immigrated here to the United States. And shortly after my dad came here, in 1984, I came and settled in the city of New Bedford, of course.
Yep. Nice.
When I came to New Bedford, it was kind of a little bit of a culture shock, but, I became acquainted pretty fast. and knew that this was the land of opportunity, the land that you can pretty much get anything you want if you work hard for it. And, you know, I love living here in the States. I went to high school. I went to New Bedford High School. And shortly after I finished high school, actually, this is a funny story. I had a scholarship to go to Anna Maria College. I had a full-paid scholarship for Anna Maria College for music theater because I love to sing. And I
You
actually
love to
denied.
sing?
I
You
love to
sing?
sing. Yes, I do. I sing in the shower every morning. I promise. So I denied. I didn't go. I ended up going to work with my dad to help my family out because we weren't here for that long. So I went to work with my dad, and about 6 years in working with my dad, I decided to go to culinary school. I felt like I love you know, all the of the family every Sunday for lunch and helping my mother here and there. You know, it kind of was already in me, but, you know, certainly seeing my mother cook and getting the family together, not only just for Sundays, but like during the holidays. And it was just, you know, it's a feast. You get up early in the morning, you start cooking at like 7 in the morning, and you're cooking all day. And that kind of just like seeped into me, into my blood. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go try and be a chef. So I went to Johnson and Wales University.
Oh, in Rhode Island.
Nice.
Yeah, in Rhode Island, in Providence. And I did the 2-year program. And then I got my associate's degree. And then I said to myself, once I finished culinary school, I said to myself that no matter what city I go and live, I'm going to try to go work for the best chef in the city. And that's what I did. It was kind of a setback for me because the money wasn't that good when you go and work for a big chef. But, you know, I thank myself for doing that today because I truly learned so much. They worked. You know, I remember just in Connecticut alone, I knocked on that door for almost a month and a half until he got sick of me knocking on the door and finally brought me in to do dishes because the dishwasher had not come to work. So he's like, you want to do dishes? You can do dishes. And that was like, that was my gateway into the French restaurant.
I love that.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that I went to work as a dishwasher and I was just shocked because every single cook that worked there, they were all French. And they were all French interns that came on an 18-month visa to work in that restaurant. And then whenever someone was done, they already had another one coming. So it was just a, you know, circular motion of just French interns coming in. So I walked in that day, I did dishes. I'm probably the best dishwasher that ever walked into that restaurant. Because I really wanted the job badly. And he invited me back the next day. And he said to me, would you like to come in tomorrow and do some prep? And I said, yes, absolutely. So I came in the next day and I did a wonderful job. And about a year and a half later, I was actually the sous chef and I was training the French interns. So,
how awesome is that? But you see what you just did? You see what you just did? You did what we all have that in us, whether it's the same thing with your parents where they saw that opportunity and they took it. And the same way that we take that opportunity and we take it. And sometimes it's not through the front door. Sometimes we take that opportunity through the back door, through that side door. But you know what? We make it all the way to the front door. And
that's right.
Because we're such hard workers. And I think, and I can say that, and I can say that I don't think I know a lazy, I really don't. I'm not, or maybe I just don't surround myself with, I guess there's laziness in every nationality and every people and all that stuff.
Of course there is. Absolutely.
But, you know, but the thing is what, I don't know. This is exactly it. We see the opportunity, and even sometimes if it's not there right away, we create it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, so I worked there. You know, I worked I worked in Rhode Island, some of the restaurants in Rhode Island. Then I went to Connecticut, and then from Connecticut, I went to Atlanta. Then I was in Atlanta for like 3.5 years. Then I came back up here, and then like 2.5 years later, I went back down to Atlanta again. Then I went to Florida to cook in Florida. And now I've been back here in Massachusetts for the last 3 years now.
All right. So the 3-year mark, is your mark, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I think it was last week that it was 3 years since I've been back. And I've never been I've been just so happy to be back. Do you know what it's like to, because I lived in Atlanta on and off for 12 years. Do you know what it's like to actually wake up in the morning and walk right down the street to the bakery and get some nice warm popsicle with some of that beautiful Azorean butter? Are you kidding me? I live for this every day. I live for this.
You're so lucky. We don't have that, at least not anywhere I've ever lived in California. So you guys are blessed where you live.
Believe me, I know we are.
Yeah, we really are. We're
spoiled. So Joe, I'm curious. So when you went to culinary school finally, how much of it was, I guess, learning other techniques or maybe like the French style of cooking or something like that? Because I get the impression that you already knew how to cook quite a bit from your mom, right, and your family.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the honest truth, I mean, and I always say this to kids who want to go, because nowadays everybody wants to go. Well, everybody wants to be a chef. The thing is that everybody that wants to be a chef, they don't want to pay their dues. Everybody wants to come out of culinary school and have a position as an executive chef or be a TV star. And it's not like that. You have to put in your dues.
It's hard work.
It's hard work. Yeah. I've been in the business for going on 24 years. And I can tell you that, it took me about 10 years to have my first position as an executive chef. So, you have to pay your dues. And if you try to rush it to be an executive chef, you're going to fail. You're going to fail because you really have to learn the business before you become on that high position in the kitchen,
Right. Now, you said you have 3 other siblings, so it's the 4 of you. Besides you with your cooking, any of your other siblings love to cook?
Yes, my brother. I have a brother which lives in Tennessee, and he's also a chef. I actually took him under my wing, and he worked with me. He worked with me for a bit, and then I fired him one time because he was being a wise guy, and I had to show him a lesson. So I fired him and got him another job somewhere else. And then he ended up going to work for me again when he finally became a man and not a kid. He's a chef as well.
That is wonderful. Now, I was going to say, and when you were saying how hard it is, and it is hard, I think I've shared this with you before. One of my first jobs I ever had, and it was, of course, under the table, for those that IRS that's listening, or they might be listening, I don't know. It's been so long ago. I'm such an old lady. This was so long. But you were paid under the table, and I was the salad dessert girl for a family restaurant called the Portuguese Shanty in the North End of New Bedford.
Yeah, I remember that place.
Yeah, and my sisters, both of my sisters married into the same family. They married brothers. And one of their brothers and their brother-in-law, the 2 families there, they owned Portuguese Shanty. So my first job was a salad girl and doing desserts, and then one of my sisters helped out there, and then my other brother-in-laws worked also for them at one time. I mean, everyone in the family somehow always had a little job in that restaurant. But that was something that was day and night, day after day. They only took Mondays off. That was the only day that the place was closed. And it was hard work. It affected everything. It affects your family life. It affects, these were married couples with trying to have young children and having them being raised all around restaurant hours. And it takes a toll. It takes a toll on everyone because it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone could do it and be successful at it. And and you can't. It's hard. It's hard work and a lot of sacrifices. It's a lot of sacrifices. And you're right. People want to have and succeed and not put the time and sacrifices in. And that is, and I saw it firsthand. And they ended up closing after so many years because they couldn't do it anymore. They were getting to the point where it was taking a toll now on their health. And it's a lot. It's not easy. It's not an easy task by any means. So
it's not easy.
No, I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for chefs and for those that work behind the scenes in the kitchen. I really do. I truly, truly do.
Absolutely have to love it, right? If you're going to work that hard and dedicate your life to it, you really have to love it, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, you do. You definitely have to love what you do. If you don't, you just don't last.
Yeah. Now, do you have children?
I do. I have a beautiful daughter. Her name is Annabella. She lives in Ann Arbor, Michigan, with her mom, and I get to go up and see her every couple months or so. Actually, I'm going to go see her in September.
Nice.
Me and the mother have a great relationship, so whenever I go, I stay with her and her fiance and my daughter.
Nice.
We all cook together.
I was just going to say, does she have the cooking bug too?
My daughter?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Nice.
Yeah. She is something else. I'll tell you. She makes, so whenever I'm cooking, she always helps me, and whenever I go grocery shopping, she's always like, calling out stuff if I need to use it. And people are just looking at her like she knows what that is.
How old is she?
And she's 7 going on 15.
I hear
Watch
that.
out, Joe. Watch out.
Yeah, but I tell you what, and she eats everything too. Everything.
Oh. That's awesome. Yeah, my daughter's 3, and one of her favorite foods that she will eat almost every time is fish with vinegar, right? And
with vinegar.
So actually, if you put vinegar on anything, she'll probably eat it. And people are always kind of weirded out by it, right? Like she's 3 and she likes vinegar,
That's a mature palate.
She's Portuguese. What do you want, right?
Yeah, she has a mature palate. Not even adults can like that sometimes.
She loves olives. She loves pickles. She likes very strong flavors, for sure.
Yeah, my daughter eats everything. Everything.
No, that's awesome. It makes it easier when they do eat anything, right? Because then you don't have to make hot dogs. And then you can eat healthier because you can put, fish and pork and other proteins in front of them, and vegetables too. Like that's the other thing. She loves kale, which is just so bizarre to me sometimes. But yeah, no, she'll eat it, which is
she's a green bean. What are you laughing at? That's what she is. She can't help it. Now, with all that you're doing, Joe, we always like to also. We'll go back to what you're doing, more of that. But in the meantime, what is one of the questions that Angela and I always like to ask is, what's your first food memory?
First food memory. Oh God, I think I said this before. The food memory I had was when my grandmother used to make sweet spaghetti squash pastries, which is called pastéis d'argila. And she used to make these bean pastries, but they both looked the same. And whenever we used to go for Christmas, she made them. And me and my brothers and sisters and my cousins, we used to rate the platter, and we used to open them up because we didn't like the bean ones, but we liked the other ones. So she used to get so mad at us because we open them and then put them back, try to pretend like we didn't do anything. But definitely one of my fondest memory was that, and then also making ice cream with my grandmother. I love ice cream. That's my favorite thing to eat.
Nice.
I just love it.
Nice. And now, if you had to, right now you want your mom, something your mom makes. It's like the dish that no one can beat it, it's got to be mom, what would be that dish?
Probably the chicken and chorizo stew with green peas over French fries. Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, say that again. Say that again. What was it again?
It's stewed chicken with the bones,
Yeah.
with onions and peppers and chorizo, and then green peas and tomatoes.
Ooh.
And it's stewed slowly until it falls off the bone, and then it's served over on top of French fries.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. See, my mom would make a stewed chicken, but she would do sometimes with a chorizo, but never with peas in it. Interesting.
Yeah, my mother used to make it with peas. Sometimes, if it wasn't French fries, she would put spaghetti in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, she would put spaghetti, so we'd eat it with spaghetti.
Do you have that recipe written down anywhere we could share?
I don't, but I can definitely share because I know how to make it. Not like my mom, but I can make it.
Wow.
Nobody can make food like your mom.
You got it. I don't care who it is. I don't care. There's nothing better than mom's. Nothing.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so is there anything that you won't eat?
I eat everything. I'll try everything at least once. If I don't like it, I won't eat it. But I like everything. Everything that I've tasted so far, I like everything. The only thing I like, despite eating, is licorice candy.
You do not.
I don't like licorice.
I don't like licorice.
No, but you know what? But I like. But it's funny because I like a niche. You know, I like to drink. I like a niche to drink it. I like Zambuca, but I don't like licorice candy.
Isn't that funny? Because that's all the same. If you like one, you should. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, kind of strange, right?
Everybody has their thing. Most people say things like dobrada or tripas or something like that, but
oh my God, dobrada! I'll eat that all day, every day, all day long. Love that. I love dobrada. I tell you what, when I went to Italy, the Italians make good dobrada. Really, really good. Yeah, it was interesting when I was in Italy. When I went to Rome, the vendors like outside on the streets, a lot of them they sell that. They sell tripe.
They sell the tripe.
And and it's like cooked the same way as we do tomatoes and beans. The other interesting dish that I had in Italy is that they like bacalhau, but they cook the bacalhau in tomato sauce, olives, and capers, and wild oregano, and then it's served on top of polenta.
Oh my God!
Nice. Which would be like grits.
Yeah, exactly. That's my forte. My forte. I mean, I love to cook Portuguese food, but my forte is traditional Italian food. You know, hand-crafted risottos, handmade raviolis, fresh pasta, crudos, which is sliced raw fish with just a little condiment on top.
Yeah,
I love Italian food.
One of the places when my husband and I traveled, we traveled to Italy, and I loved everything. Just everything, every food that they put in front of me, I was in love with. Even the octopus. They make an amazing octopus too.
Yeah, you know what? When I was in Italy, I went to Puglia, and I had live baby octopus with just sea salt, lemon juice, and olive oil, and it was squirming in my mouth, and I loved every bite of it.
I did not have it squirming in my mouth. That I did not.
That's pretty extreme. Because I've heard of, they used to have.
It was good though. Oh my God, it tasted so good.
That's like lapage. You can eat lapage when they're still raw, right? And actually alive. I've heard of,
I love lapage. I love that.
So
who doesn't?
Well, I've eaten them cooked, but I will not eat them live. I don't think I can do that.
The only thing that scares me with the live ones is that if they're not fresh, you can be really sick real quick. So that's always the thing. So I like that, if anything, grilled with the butter and the garlic and on top. That's really good.
Yeah, but, another thing I really like that we don't have here is cutthroat.
Yes.
The snail. I love that.
Snails. Yep, snails. And what was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say about Italian. So that is your first, the thing of cooking is Italian. So you
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the
Italian food.
ossobuco and what do you call it? Do
Yeah,
you make your fresh pasta too?
yep, I
You
sure do.
do.
I actually use, a lot of people a lot of people say that using 00 flour for making fresh pasta is the best. I like to use Durham flour. And I usually, when I use Durham flour, it's sort of an egg pasta dough, using a lot of eggs and a little bit of flour, regular flour, and then also Durham flour.
Really?
Yeah,
Because you always hear about the 00, whatever it
yeah.
is.
No, Durham flour makes the best pasta dough.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever give classes on cooking?
I do not give classes on cooking, but I'm actually going to contact this place in Dartmouth that rents out their kitchen. And I think in September, I'm going to do a cooking lesson in September. I'm going to post it on my chef Facebook page and list it on my website. And I think I'm going to hold an Italian cooking lesson probably in the end of September. I'm going to do one of those.
At the Dartmouth Grange.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
have a full kitchen and it's licensed and all of that stuff. And there's a few small companies that have a bakery, if I'm not mistaken, as well as a place that there's like micro businesses that use the Grange kitchen, which is really great. There's a lot of businesses that are generated out of that kitchen that people are not aware of, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that'll
haven't
be
called them,
fun.
but I'm going to call them and try to set up something for the end of September.
That will be fun. So I've got to
Yeah.
know. I've got to find us out because that's just around the corner.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good. See, and here I am asking a question if you do that, and you were looking at doing that, and we didn't even know that. See that? Wonderful. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So what is new? What is your next step? What are the next things you want to do, hon?
Well, the next thing, I am working in sort of a project right now to possibly open my own place.
Oh, beautiful.
And here in the area, it's under talks and nothing is concrete yet, but we've been talking and it's looking pretty good, and we'll see what happens.
Oh,
But I'll
that's
keep you posted
beautiful.
for sure.
That is beautiful. So now, next time Angela comes down this way, we can all eat over at Joe's restaurant.
I hope so. That would be
nice. We want Angela to come back to New England again. She'd still leave the West Coast and come visit us here so she can have her pot six.
The West Coast is no good. You need to come back.
Oh, no. No, the West Coast. I'm a self-proclaimed state snob. Yes, we are lacking in our Portuguese-ness.
No, I tell you what, I was in Los Angeles, and I love that whole area.
Yeah,
I really do. It sort of reminds me of Portugal a little bit.
Yeah, we tease, but California is gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful.
Oh my God, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I went to Malibu, and I was just like, wow, this place is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there. Most people say San Francisco reminds them of Lisbon, and there are a lot of similarities. So I would say that's probably why I like San Francisco, because I also like Lisbon. But you know what I wanted to ask you, Joe, is so when you're on those shows, right, Cutthroat Kitchen and Chopped, the atmosphere, like it always seems like there's so much pressure and to make the dish super fast. And how do you adapt to get your dish, because you don't have to work that fast normally, right?
No, we know, but you know what, I tell you what, when I went on these shows, I was just so thankful that I actually had the opportunity for them to pick me. I mean, they could have picked anybody, but the fact that they picked me to go on the show, I felt already blessed. I was like, at this point, I was like, I don't even care if I win. I'm going to be on
Sure.
national TV. This is going to look great on my resume. And
Yep.
I just, I went with the attitude thinking that, I'm just going to try my best. Of course, I want to win, but if I don't win, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Have
Uh,
fun. Yep.
For sure.
yeah, just have fun. And, if you see on the shows, on both shows, Chopped and then Cutthroat Kitchen the first time, and then Cutthroat Kitchen, the All Stars.
Yes.
If you see my episode, I'm laughing the whole entire time. I'm just laughing because I'm like, this is just crazy. This is idiots. I mean, I was just like, oh, okay, well, all right. So I have to jump in a potato sack with two other chefs. So I'm like, all right, I can make this happen. At the same time, I'm just laughing and laughing and laughing.
You have to.
And
You
oh
just
yeah,
have
you
to.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, I had a blast. Like like I said, I didn't care if I won or not. But the first time when I went, I was like when I went into the finals with Chef Willie Box, which at the time he was the personal chef for Ludacris, a very famous rapper.
Yeah.
I went against him, and once I went into the finals, I was like, I got when I opened that basket and looked at the ingredients automatically. Like my grandmother's roulade recipe just popped right into my head. And when I saw that basket, I was like, I'm like, I'm going to win this. And I was very confident that I was going to win it. And once the competition started for the dessert round, I mean, I had him. I had him the whole time, and I knew I had him.
And
So,
it was your
but
grandmother coming in.
yeah, it was crazy. It's funny because every round you see me doing the cross on my forehead and all that. So, being typical Portuguese guy, like meu Deus, please help me, meu Deus, and I was so nervous, and I really wanted. At the point when I got to the final round, I was like, I really want to win this for my daughter. I really want to make her proud, and I just, I put everything into it, and then, I came around and came up glorious, which is, honest to God, I still pinch myself that I've won not only one but two. I mean,
Right.
if you told me, 15 years ago that I was going to be in the Food Network competing on two different shows and winning it all, I tell you that you probably should check yourself into some kind of drug rehabilitation center.
Oh, but you know what? But you represented the Portuguese community very well.
I did. Every time I
You did.
competed, I put my Portuguese flag bandana on my arm,
Yep.
and I was sure to tell them that I was Portuguese, that was from New Bedford, and nothing stood in my way. And watch out for the Portuguese guy.
That's awesome. Right on. So what would be some advice you'd give for somebody, whether they might be in high school or in college or even like in a career and thinking of, I've always wanted to cook, but I never thought I could make a career of it. What would be your advice to get?
My advice for anybody who wants to be a chef is if you don't know anything about cooking, go to school, go to culinary school, take only the 2-year program, the associate's degree, and then whatever you are, just work for the best chef that's in the city, work for them for 2 years, and then switch to another chef. And do that for 10 years. And if you can go abroad, if you have a chance to go abroad and cook abroad in Europe, I highly suggest that you do that if you have the means to do it. If not, then just whatever city you're in, let's say if you're in New Bedford, then I would highly suggest that you go to Boston and try to get into a restaurant in Boston that's really reputable and a good chef, and learn, put your head down, come in on time with a clean uniform, come in focused, come in with lots of energy, and just produce and just listen and listen and listen, and you'll get there.
That's awesome. I love how you said, come in on time and with a clean uniform and work hard. That's because it's
Yeah.
like little details like that, right? That could set you apart from the others.
Yeah, because if you come in to work, I always say, see, this is my thing. I always say to my cooks, if you're on time, you're late. And if you come in with a dirty uniform, it's a representation of yourself and how you represent yourself. So I always say, come in, if you come in with a dirty uniform, not only I'm going to think down on you, but your workmates are going to think down that you have no prestige about yourself and you don't care about your work. And
Right.
the way you represent yourself is going to reflect on your work.
That's right. And for those that feel that way, they're not going to produce or create amazing dishes because that's not their thing. It isn't.
That's right.
If you don't have enough of yourself to feel proud of yourself and how you look and how you represent, it's the same thing on what you put on that plate. It's all connected. Now, in another question here, the thought of, if you could, now I know you're a chef and all that, but if you could work alongside someone that you've never worked in that you would love to, who would that be? Who you would love to cook with?
Ooh, what a question that is. Wow. Jesus, you're putting me on the spot. Probably Thomas Keller.
Really?
Thomas Keller. Yeah, definitely Thomas Keller. Thomas Keller is just, he's an incredible chef. He set the bar really high. I read an article about the French Laundry, and there was an article that Thomas Keller, after a shift, he was in the kitchen cleaning the convection oven for about an hour, and they asked him why were you cleaning that convection oven for an hour after you send your line cooks home? And he said, because this is a job that needs to be done by a professional. And I was just like, this guy is awesome. This guy is just awesome. He'll do whatever it takes to show his peers that no matter what, how famous he is and how much of a good chef he is, he still gets down and dirty to show his staff that no matter what happens, he can get down and dirty.
That's being humble.
Important. Yeah,
that's being humble.
Yeah. Thomas Keller. Thomas Keller's been nominated best chef, Jesus, so many times.
Okay. Well, I'm a firm believer if you put things out into the universe, it comes back. So we're going to put that out into the universe. We're going to put that out there, Joe. We're going to say that. We're going to have that out there. So one day, you never know. You never know. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
The thing is of cooking, there's a lot of love in cooking. I truly believe that for those that are great cooks or that enjoy it, a little piece of them goes in that dish. And if you're happy and you're enjoying yourself and all of these things, the food comes out better than if you're forced to cook or if you're miserable or if you're having a bad day. I truly believe that, because I can only speak for myself. But if I'm not having a wonderful day and I have to cook, I don't care how hard I try, it never comes out as nice as if I don't know. It affects, you have to be happy. You really have to.
Yeah. It affects your mood. It affects the way you perform. It affects your vibe. It affects everything.
Now, you started by saying you wanted to be a singer. Now, do you sing while you cook?
Oh, yes. Every day.
You do. So while you're cooking, you're singing. Now, where were we? It used to be a small restaurant in New Bedford. It has since closed. And it was a small little Italian restaurant, and it only had it was like this tiny little hole in the wall. And it was only open like certain days, and it was only, but the gentleman who was cooking sometimes would come out of the kitchen and he would serenade the people in the restaurant.
That's awesome. They have restaurants like that in New York City.
And I loved it. I loved that fact that he would come out and he would sing in Italian. You know, these beautiful, I didn't know what the heck he was saying because I don't understand Italian. So God only knows what he was talking, but it sounded beautiful. It sounded,
that's awesome.
That could be your thing for your restaurant that you're going to open. That could be your thing too.
Yes. Are you going to do that, Joe?
Right?
You could come out. You could be the singing chef.
No, I'm good.
No.
Only food. Only food.
Only food. You'll be singing in the kitchen and only.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
I don't know. Just putting it out there. That could be something.
Okay, I'll keep it in mind. I'll sing when you come to my restaurant. How about that?
Oh, okay. That's a promise. Everyone's hearing that.
Right.
It's documented, Joe.
That's right.
I love
it. We're coming up on the holidays. They're not too far away. I mean, I know it's the end of summer. So how do you, for let's say Thanksgiving, do you cook for Thanksgiving? And is there a Portuguese dish?
Hell no. I don't cook on Thanksgiving. I let my sister do that. I always ask her, do you want me to do anything? She's like, no, you just come and relax. And I'm like, yes, I don't have to cook. It's a funny thing. I'm going to tell you, it's a funny thing. But I would say throughout the whole year at my house, I may cook in my house about 10 times.
Yep, I believe it.
Yeah, because
you do it every day.
Well, the thing is, too, is like you live in New Bedford. You can go down the street and get a $12 steak and you're full, and it's good. You can go and get a plate of bacalhau and pay $12, $14, and you're good. You know what I'm saying? So, I live by myself. I live with my dog, and for me to cook by myself, it's only during the winter.
There's, and I don't know if we want to go down there to say what's your favorite spots to hit, because there's so many good ones, and we don't want to leave any of them out. But if you
yeah, in New Bedford, yeah, I can tell you my number one spot is Novo Mundo.
Oh, me too.
That's my number one spot. I love Carla. I love what she does. She has the best chicken in the world. She has the best. Yeah. She has the best mozzarella and grilled pineapple in the world, and she has the best leitão in the world. I love that place. Besides that, I like the Black Whale, and my other favorite is Top Shelf. I really like Top Shelf.
Do you?
I love it. I love it. The food is really good over there. It's very, very consistent, and the food is just so damn good every time.
When my husband and I go out to dinner, and sometimes we'll do takeout at Novo Mundo because it's always so busy, and it's a little. It might have maybe 7 or 10 tables. That's about it in the place.
Yeah, about 30 seats.
Yeah, and it's also a big takeout for their grilled chicken.
Oh yeah,
it's grilled.
But I don't know if you know this. Novo Mundo's been on the Food Network.
Yes, it has.
They have been on that show called The Best Thing I Ever Ate. And the guy who went there is the host of Chopped.
Right.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and his said it was the best chicken, the grilled chicken that he's ever had was there.
That's
and
right.
The funny thing is with all of that, Carla, I love Carla's a sweetheart, and she has been there for a long time as a waitress working for the previous owners.
Yeah, and so she bought it 4 years ago.
I know, and so it's great. And anytime that I go, there's besides the specials that she has sometimes that are fresh fish. I mean, it's the most amazing fish that they do there. My one thing that I love that comes so close to what my mom would make is the fava beans, the green fava beans.
Oh, yeah.
The green fava beans with the egg.
I haven't had it.
Oh my God, Joe, it's amazing. So it has the egg, it has the little riblets, it's got the little bacon or pork back, or say the pork belly, little
Yeah, yeah,
pieces
yeah,
of
yeah.
that, and then the chorizo, of course, and all that. And it's supposed to be an appetizer, but
Uh-huh.
I get that, yeah, it's really
Yeah, I
good.
mean, that's that's the epitome of comfort Portuguese food, and how can you not love that? That makes a
Yeah,
lot of bellies happy.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, she absolutely, yeah, it's a great place. That's one of our favorites too. As a matter of fact, the last time we went, there was so many people and they were waiting to get in and all that we went, okay, let's just do a takeout because we couldn't wait. It was like, so it's great. I love it. I love to see success stories, and that's definitely a success story.
No doubt, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, the next time when I go there, we'll have to go to Novomundo for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes. 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 Yes.
great place to go.
And then the other one for me, I also love to go for breakfast because Novo Mundo does not have breakfast. But I'll go, and I love Tia's. I do like Tia.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
do love Tia's. And that's another thing. I love Jessica. I love her family. I love and
yeah. She's such a sweetheart and such a hard
yeah, she
worker.
is. Oh my God, she's such a hard worker. And again, we're talking about two different women, Carla at Nuevo Mundo and Jessica, and they're smart women and they're hard workers and the whole thing. So yeah, we're very lucky that we have the
Yeah,
places that
we're
we
very
do around
fortunate that
here.
we have places like this in our area. We're very fortunate.
And for those that are listening and that are not from New England, you have to come visit.
Absolutely.
You have to come down and visit. And as soon as word comes from when your restaurant will open and where it'll be, we need to know that so we can update to let people know of where it'll be.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll
Absolutely.
be awesome. That'll be awesome. Do you think it'll be by the end of the year?
I can't say, but I'll let you know.
There's a few restaurants that are closed that would be perfect for you to go right into.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you this place. You definitely know this place that is closed.
Yeah. Oh, I think I already know.
Yeah.
Think I already know. And that would be a beautiful spot. That would be a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Angela. We know what we're talking about.
Just rub it in, don't you? Why don't you just rub it in?
I'm sorry, honey.
Well, we just got a new one at Dega in San Jose. So,
Nice.
Nice.
At
least we have someone.
That's true. You do. Oh, before we end this, I did something this week that I'll want to make sure. Now, have you ever made sausages before, Joe? Have you made your chorizo, the linguiça? You have. Okay.
I've never made chorizo and linguiça, but I've made other sausages. I made lamb sausage and seafood sausage and chicken sausage, but I've never made linguiça or chorizo.
My first attempt at making chorizo was this past weekend. Because I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to make it. I know my mom and dad would make it. Growing up, I'd always, the sound of the pig, and then they'd have this, and then we do that, and whatever. And so I made my first attempt. I did it down to ordering casings because I'm thinking, where the heck am I going to get pig intestines?
Casings, yeah.
So I had to. So I found a hog farmer who I was able to buy intestines from. I mean,
awesome.
Yeah. So I did it the first time, but it wasn't red enough. It didn't have, I think I need to add more paprika to it or something. Yep. So it was off by just a little, but the flavor was really good. And
nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep attempting to make it. I'm going to keep doing it.
Did you use regular paprika?
I did.
You should use smoked paprika.
Well, I smoked it after. I smoked the sausages.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I'm sure. But smoked paprika has a really nice flavor, a distinct flavor that adds just that extra smoke to it.
and do you think that that's what our parents would have used?
No,
Oh,
they
okay.
would use Portuguese paprika.
They would have used the regular one, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, because I marinated for 24 hours. I bought, and I just did enough like to really try. I bought a small pork butt, a 5-pound pork butt, and then a pound of what is it, pork fat. So it was like a
Uh huh.
pork belly, just a pork belly with a little bit of meat on it, which was great. And I diced them up in like small little cube sizes by hand. So I froze the
Uh huh.
meat and the pork belly so it'd make it easier to chop. And then I marinated for 24 hours in a red wine vinegar, paprika. Oh my God, I don't know. I did like maybe 8 or 10 cloves of garlic, like minced really well, and then salt, pepper, the pimenta moída, the hot chopped peppers, and I used some was it onion powder too in it, and I just marinated all of that together. And
Nice.
because
That sounds nice.
that's what my aunt had said, they would either use wine, vinegar, or lemon juice when they were making their sausages. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I remember my mom cleaning the intestines with lemon juice and stuff, but I don't remember her putting it in the sausage. You know what I mean? Like the juice. It was more either wine, the red wine, or a little bit of vinegar kind of thing.
Right.
But it tasted good, but the color was off.
I
The
want
color
some.
was off. You want some, you said?
Yes, I want some.
And then I smoked it in our smoker because I bought a smoker. So I've been smoking like everything lately. Smoked salmon, smoked brisket. I mean, you name it, I've been smoking it. And so I smoked it and I used apple wood in the smoker.
Yeah.
And it tastes good. It's just the color. The color is not there. And then someone had said, oh, you need to use the sweet red pepper paste to give it that color.
Pimenta moída?
The sweet pepper, not the
Sweet pepper
spicy
paste.
one, the sweet pepper
Okay.
paste to give it that color, that extra color. So I have to experiment. I have to keep. So I didn't know if you had made it, then I would say, okay, how did you do that? Because I just can't get that red color. That's the only thing. But you're saying you smoked paprika.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
hon. All right, so I'm going to have to do that again, and then you're going to have to be a taste tester.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, folks.
Will do.
Well, you heard it here.
Well, we have to get some of those links to some of those recipes so we can put them in our show notes.
All right. I'm still tweaking it. That's the only thing. I'm still tweaking.
Gotta work on it.
Yeah, I better work. I gotta get going here. Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you. We appreciate you being on. As you know, there are more and more people listening to us. We are the only Portuguese podcast where we talk in English and talk about being Portuguese, and I think more and more people are listening, and it's a wonderful thing, and it's all over that they're listening. So I know they're going to appreciate hearing this interview, and we thank you again. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be talking with you all.
And good luck with the restaurant and continued success. We're going to keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
Yes,
yeah,
we're keeping an eye on you, and we'll make sure that as soon as also that you're doing the cooking stuff, the classes, that you let me know too.
Absolutely, I will definitely let you know.
All right, Joe. Well, you have a wonderful one. Thank you again.
Thank you. You too. You guys have a great day, okay?
You too. Até a próxima. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, he's a sweetheart. I love that guy.
Yeah, he really is. And I swear to God, he is such a trooper. Because like I said at the beginning, I mean, the third time's the charm.
So not only the third time that we tried to get on the phone, but we recorded the whole first podcast. the first time, and then it didn't record. So,
and it didn't record. I know. So
second podcast he's done with us, right?
yeah, he's like, oh my God, these two women, enough. And but he was a sweetheart, and I can't wait till he does open that restaurant. I think that'll be really wonderful. The one thing he didn't get to talk about is also how much he gives back to the community, and he does a lot of fundraising. He does a lot of fundraising throughout the year, and he does he will auction himself off, for certain dollar amounts to cook for, a party of sorts and whatever. And, I think he had told us last time, I think he's raised like 40,000 last year, just all for charity, which is wonderful. So I think anyone who gives of himself like that, that's all good karma.
Oh yeah.
That's all good karma. That all comes back. So, so we wish him the most success, and we again appreciate him being on for us again for the third time.
Until he opens his place, people can go see him or eat his food at Not Your Average Joe's.
Not Your Average Joe's, yeah. He's out of the test kitchen. So there's a lot of, he's always, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the new menu items that come in and all of that, that's him. That's him working with other chefs and putting different menu stuff together. So yeah, he's a talented guy. He's a talented guy. And
it's another podcast in the books.
It is. And for everyone listening out there, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the positive words that you sent Angela and I. We truly appreciate it. And leave us your comments. We like that. If there's someone that you'd like for us to interview, that you'd like to get to know better, let us know. And I know we've got more people that we have on our list of interviewing because, we have a lot of amazing, successful Portuguese people out there that we're bringing out of the woodwork and for us to brag about. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with bragging about us. And I know you are too, Angela.
Yeah, no one else is going to do it.
That's right.
We got to do it.
Do it. We've got to do it, honey. So it's always a pleasure, honey. Always a pleasure. So until next time.
Até a próxima.
Até a próxima, querida. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks again for listening to our Portuguese Table podcast.
If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so on SoundCloud or iTunes.
And all episodes can be found on our website at www.ourportuguesetable.com.
You can also reach us at feedback@ourportuguesetable.com with comments, questions, or suggestions.
Até a próxima!